Your 16-year-old daughter Emma used to be the life of the party, always laughing, involved in drama club, had a tight group of friends who hung out every weekend. But over the past 8 months, she's become a completely different person. She spends hours scrolling through Instagram and TikTok, constantly comparing herself to other girls, and has started making comments like, "I'm so ugly," and "everyone else has such a perfect life." Last week, you found her crying in her room at midnight, staring at her phone, and when you asked what was wrong, she just said, "I don't know, I just feel terrible about everything." If this sounds familiar, you're not alone, and more importantly, you're not powerless. I'm Sarah from Drifting Parenthood, and today I'm breaking down the latest research from the CDC, Yale Medicine, and major universities about the connection between social media use and teen mental health, plus giving you specific science-backed strategies you can implement starting today to protect your teenager's emotional well-being. Make sure to subscribe to Drifting Parenthood and hit that notification bell right now, because this information could be the key to understanding what your teen is really going through and how you can help them navigate these crucial years without losing themselves to the digital comparison trap. Here's what the science actually tells us, and it's more nuanced than the headlines suggest. The CDC's 2023 Youth Risk Behavior Survey found that 57% of teen girls experienced persistent sadness or hopelessness, compared to 29% in 2011. That's nearly doubled in just over a decade. During this same period, social media usage among teens went from occasional use to an average of 7 to 9 hours daily across all platforms. Yale Medicine's comprehensive research review published in 2024 found that heavy social media use, defined as more than 3 hours daily, is associated with a 70% increased risk of depression and anxiety symptoms in adolescents. But here's the crucial part that most people miss. It's not social media itself that's the problem. It's how teens are using it and what they're seeing. Dr. Primak's research at the University of Pittsburgh found that passive consumption, scrolling, comparing, consuming content without interaction, significantly increases depression risk, while active engagement, commenting meaningfully, sharing personal content, using platforms to maintain real relationships, can actually improve mental health outcomes. The difference is whether social media is being used as a tool for connection or as a substitute for real life. Teenagers aren't just smaller adults with less self-control. Their brains are fundamentally different in ways that make them particularly susceptible to social media's negative effects. The adolescent brain is in a massive state of reconstruction, with the limbic system, responsible for emotions and reward-seeking, developing much faster than the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thinking and impulse control. This creates what neuroscientists call the emotional gas pedal without brakes phenomenon. Social media platforms exploit this vulnerability through design features specifically engineered to trigger dopamine release. Likes, comments, shares, and the unpredictable timing of social rewards activate the same neural pathways as gambling and substance use. Dr. Frances Jensen, author of The Teenage Brain, explains that teens literally cannot assess risk and reward the way adults can, making them more likely to seek validation through social media and more devastated when they don't receive it. Additionally, the teenage years are when identity formation is most critical, and social media provides a constant stream of curated, filtered, and often unrealistic comparisons that can derail healthy self-concept development. When teens see their peers posting highlight reels while they're living their behind-the-scenes reality, their developing brains interpret this as evidence that they're failing or inadequate. The research identifies several specific ways that problematic social media use affects teen mental health, and understanding these can help parents recognize what's happening with their own children. Social comparison is the biggest culprit. Teens compare their real lives to others' curated online personas, leading to feelings of inadequacy, FOMO, fear of missing out, and decreased life satisfaction. A Stanford study found that teens who spent more than 3 hours daily on image-based platforms like Instagram and Snapchat showed significantly higher rates of body dissatisfaction and disordered eating behaviors. Sleep disruption is another major factor. The blue light from screens interferes with melatonin production, but more importantly, the emotionally stimulating content keeps teens' minds racing when they should be winding down. Yale researchers found that teens who use social media within an hour of bedtime took an average of 45 minutes longer to fall asleep and reported feeling less rested the next day. Cyberbullying has evolved beyond obvious harassment to include subtler forms of social exclusion, like being left out of group chats, not having photos liked, or seeing social events they weren't invited to. The Pew Research Center found that 59% of teens have experienced online harassment, and unlike traditional bullying, social media bullying follows kids home and can happen 24/7. Fear of missing out, FOMO, creates a constant state of anxiety as teens feel they need to be constantly connected to avoid missing important social information, leading to compulsive checking behaviors and difficulty focusing on offline activities. The goal isn't to eliminate social media entirely. That's unrealistic and can actually increase teens' anxiety about being socially isolated. Instead, the research shows that healthy social media use has specific characteristics that parents can encourage and model. Time limits matter, but quality matters more. 30 minutes of meaningful interaction with close friends is better for mental health than 3 hours of passive scrolling through strangers' content. Active versus passive use is crucial. Encourage your teen to comment thoughtfully, share their own authentic experiences, and use platforms to coordinate real-world activities rather than as entertainment or comparison tools. Curating feeds intentionally means following accounts that inspire, educate, or genuinely entertain rather than those that trigger comparison or negative emotions. Help your teen regularly unfollow accounts that make them feel worse about themselves, even if those accounts belong to people they know in real life. The research from Dr. Tim Prinstein at University of North Carolina shows that teens who actively curate their social media consumption report significantly better mood and self-esteem than those who follow whoever follows them. Real-world connection integration is key. Social media should enhance, not replace, face-to-face relationships. Teens who use social platforms primarily to coordinate offline activities and maintain existing friendships show better mental health outcomes than those who rely on social media for primary social interaction. Based on the research, here are specific strategies that have been proven effective in multiple studies. Create phone-free zones and times, particularly bedrooms after 9 p.m. and the first 30 minutes after waking up, as these periods are crucial for sleep quality and starting the day with a positive mindset rather than immediate social comparison. The University of Pennsylvania study found that families who implemented device-free bedrooms saw a 23% improvement in teen sleep quality and mood within 2 weeks. Teach media literacy by helping your teen understand how social media companies make money through attention and engagement, how filters and editing create unrealistic beauty standards, and how algorithms show them content designed to keep them scrolling rather than content that's actually good for them. Dr. Sonia Livingstone's research at the London School of Economics shows that teens who understand how social media platforms work are significantly less likely to experience negative mental health effects. Model healthy usage yourself, because teens learn more from observing their parents' behavior than from lectures about screen time. If you're constantly checking your phone, posting filtered photos, or comparing yourself to others online, your teen is learning that this is normal adult behavior. Have regular check-ins about their online experiences without judgment. Ask questions like, how do you feel after spending time on Instagram? Or, what kinds of posts make you feel good about yourself versus bad about yourself? The goal is to help them develop self-awareness about their own reactions to different types of content. Not all social media use is problematic, so it's important to know the difference between normal teen behavior and concerning patterns that might require intervention. Warning signs include dramatic mood changes directly tied to social media use. Your teen seems fine until they check their phone, then becomes irritable, sad, or anxious. Sleep disruption that affects daily functioning, like staying up past midnight scrolling and then being unable to wake up for school or falling asleep in class. Social withdrawal from offline activities and relationships. They stop participating in sports, clubs, or family activities they used to enjoy. Or they stop seeing friends in person because they prefer online interaction. Academic decline that can't be explained by other factors. Grades dropping because they're distracted by social media during homework time or staying up too late online. Body image or self-esteem comments that seem directly related to social media consumption, making negative comments about their appearance after looking at photos online, or expressing feelings of inadequacy about their life compared to what they see on social platforms. Anxiety when unable to access social media, becoming genuinely distressed when phones are taken away, Wi-Fi is down, or they're in situations where they can't check social platforms. The key is pattern and intensity. Occasional mood changes or social media preoccupation are normal, but persistent patterns that interfere with sleep, school, relationships, or self-esteem warrant closer attention and possibly professional support. The most effective approach isn't trying to protect teens from all negative online experiences, but rather helping them develop resilience and critical thinking skills to navigate social media more healthily. Teach them to recognize and name their emotions around social media use. Help them notice when they feel anxious, jealous, or inadequate after using certain platforms or seeing certain types of content. Dr. Mark Brackett's research at Yale shows that teens who can accurately identify and articulate their emotions are much better at self-regulating their social media use. Help them develop a personal social media mission statement. What do they want to get out of these platforms? Connection with friends, creative inspiration, news and information? Having clear intentions helps them use social media more purposefully rather than mindlessly scrolling. Encourage them to be authentic online, sharing real moments, both good and challenging, rather than only highlight reels. Research from Dr. Stephanie Sarkis shows that teens who post authentically report feeling more connected to their online friends and less pressure to maintain a perfect image. Teach them to take regular digital detoxes, plan breaks from social media that help reset their relationship with these platforms. This could be 1 day per week, 1 week per month, or longer breaks during stressful periods like exam weeks. The goal is helping them realize they can function and feel good without constant digital connection. Sometimes social media's impact on teen mental health requires professional intervention, and knowing when to seek help can prevent minor issues from becoming major mental health crises. Contact a mental health professional if your teen shows signs of depression or anxiety that persist for more than 2 weeks and seem directly connected to social media use. This includes persistent sadness, loss of interest in activities they used to enjoy, changes in appetite or sleep that affect daily functioning, or expressions of hopelessness or worthlessness. Eating disorder behaviors that seem triggered by social media content, such as restricting food intake after looking at fitness or beauty content, excessive exercise motivated by online comparisons, or frequent negative comments about their body that correlate with image-based platform use. Self-harm behaviors or suicidal thoughts of any kind require immediate professional attention. These are never normal parts of adolescent development and always warrant professional evaluation. Social isolation that's extreme and persistent. If your teen has completely withdrawn from offline relationships and activities for more than a month and seems to be living primarily through social media connections. Academic failure that represents a significant change from previous performance and seems directly related to social media preoccupation or the mental health impacts of social media use. Look for therapists who specialize in adolescent mental health and have experience with technology-related issues. Many therapists now have specific training in helping teens develop healthier relationships with social media and addressing the anxiety and depression that can result from problematic use. The most successful families create explicit agreements about social media use that involve input from everyone and are regularly updated as teens mature and demonstrate responsibility. Start by having a family meeting where everyone shares their current social media habits, how different platforms make them feel, and what they want their relationship with technology to look like. Include specific agreements about time limits, but focus more on the quality and timing of use. For example, no social media during family meals, homework time, or the hour before bed. Establish consequences that are logical and related to the behavior rather than punitive. If social media use interferes with sleep, devices charge outside bedrooms. If it interferes with family time, there are designated phone-free family periods. Create positive incentives for healthy social media habits, like extra privileges for teens who consistently follow the family agreements or who demonstrate good digital citizenship by standing up against cyberbullying or sharing positive content. Build in regular family check-ins about how the plan is working and adjust as needed. Teens' needs and maturity levels change, and rigid rules that don't evolve often lead to rebellion or sneaky behavior. The goal is helping your teen internalize healthy social media habits rather than simply following external rules, so they can make good decisions when they're adults and no longer under your supervision. Remember that adolescence is a temporary but crucial period in your child's development, and the social media habits they develop now will likely carry into adulthood. The research consistently shows that teens who learn to use social media mindfully and develop strong offline relationships and coping skills are much more likely to have positive mental health outcomes both during adolescence and into their 20s and beyond. Dr. Lawrence Steinberg's longitudinal research following teens into adulthood found that those who had supportive family relationships and learned healthy technology habits during adolescence showed significantly better mental health, relationship satisfaction, and career success in their 20s compared to those who struggled with social media and mental health as teens without receiving support. This means that the work you're doing now to help your teen navigate social media more healthily isn't just about getting through these teenage years. It's about setting them up for lifelong emotional well-being and healthy relationships. The teens who learn to use technology as a tool rather than an escape, who develop strong real-world relationships and coping skills, and who understand how to protect their mental health in our digital world are going to be the adults who thrive in whatever new technological landscape emerges in the next decades. Look, watching your teenager struggle with the mental health impacts of social media can feel overwhelming and helpless, especially when it seems like they're living in a completely different world than the one you grew up in. But here's what I want you to remember. You have more influence than you think. The research gives us clear guidance on what works, and small changes can make a huge difference in your teen's well-being. The fact that you're watching this video and seeking information means you're already doing one of the most important things, paying attention and taking your teen's mental health seriously. Social media isn't going anywhere, but neither is your role as a parent in helping your child navigate these challenges. The teens who come through adolescence with strong mental health and healthy social media habits almost always have parents who stayed engaged, set appropriate boundaries, and provided consistent support rather than trying to control or completely restrict their online experiences. If this video helped you understand what your teen might be experiencing or gave you ideas for supporting their mental health, make sure to subscribe to Drifting Parenthood and hit that notification bell. Next week, I'm sharing specific conversation starters and scripts for talking with your teen about social media and mental health without triggering the dreaded eye roll and shutdown. Drop a comment below and let me know what you've noticed about your teen's mood and social media use, or share what strategies have worked for your family. Your experience might be exactly what another parent needs to hear. Remember, you're not trying to raise a perfect teenager who never struggles. You're trying to raise a resilient young adult who has the tools to handle whatever life throws at them, including the challenges and opportunities of our digital world. Now, go have those conversations, set those boundaries, and trust that your consistent love and support will help your teen develop the skills they need to thrive.